to my channel. Today I wanted to do another speedy review of this Anastasia Beverly Hills Stick Foundation. I picked this up in New York a couple of months ago, so I know it isn't a new product, but it's my very first stick foundation I've ever bought, and I really wanted to come on here and review it for you guys. I know that my foundation reviews are quite popular, and especially with this brand, because unfortunately there's nowhere in the UK that we can actually go and get shade match for Anastasia Beverly Hills, and as you may know by now, I absolutely hate buying makeup online. So the very first thing I did when I went to Sephora was just pick up loads of foundations. This was my time to just buy everything and actually get shade matched in person. It was really cold, so I wasn't tanned, so I was confident that I had the right shades. So it was close to my shade as possible in everything that I bought. This foundation I bought is in the shade Caramel. It comes in a black box, so it's very consistent with all the ABH packaging, and inside is this black tube, if you can see it. It's very sleek packaging. It has a little gold circle, and when you open it up, it's gold on the inside, and this is the shade that I got just for reference. And as I'm sure you know by now, I wear the shade NC42 at MAC. In terms of the price of this, I paid $25, and I know that it retails for £25 in the UK, which is slightly annoying, but I feel like everything on the Anastasia Beverly Hills UK website is exactly the same price in pounds and in dollars, which is a shame because it means we pay a little bit more in the UK, but at the same time we get faster shipping. So I guess it's all pros and cons and personal preference. In this stick foundation you get 9 grams of product. I don't know how that compares to a liquid foundation because the average is 30 ml, and obviously this is a stick foundation so I have nothing to compare it to, but I would say it's a good price assuming that you get as many wears out of this as a normal liquid foundation. You do get quite a lot of product, so this is how much product you get, so I'm assuming it's about the same. I don't know, don't quote me on that, and I have nothing to compare it to. In terms of the shade, I picked this up in the shade Caramel, which I am about 95% happy with. I do think it's the right shade for my skin tone. I just think it has a slight orange undertone to it, and my skin is yellow. We all know this. I'm very fussy when it comes to base products, but I like that because it is orange, it looks slightly darker on my skin, and if I'm going to pick up a foundation that isn't 100% perfect, I'd always want to go a touch darker, because otherwise my skin would just look really ashy, and that's just not a cool look. So I am happy with the shade match. So I've tried this foundation out a few times before, and I don't find that it changes colour throughout the day. It doesn't oxidize. I've had it on for about an hour today, and as you can see, this is just what it looks like. I know that the lighting is really crap today, so I've kind of got natural lighting and my ring light, so I'm hoping that you can see properly just how good the shade match is. But I mean, don't use my hands as a reference. My hands are very pink undertone. I'm not sure why. But anyway, I believe this range comes in 23 or 25 different shades, so it's got a good selection, and I think it's quite good for deeper skin tones too. I know a couple of shades were designed specifically for contour and highlighting. I think the contour shade is quite grey, so you wouldn't use that as a foundation, but I think it's just got like a normal name. I kind of do wish I picked the contour shade up because I have been loving cream contour recently. But anyway, back to this foundation. It claims to be a matte finish. I completely agree with that. It claims to be medium coverage. I do agree with that, but I don't think it's very pigmented. I feel like it's lacking some pigment, so even though it is buildable, I'm not a fan of this formula at all. Because it's a stick foundation, it does feel quite cakey on the skin, so I don't like the thought of building it up. I have done a couple of times, but you can really feel it on your skin, and I'm not really a fan of that. It also claims to be suited to all skin types. I completely disagree with that. I don't actually know what skin type I would say it's suited to. I have oily combination skin, and as I've said before, I never wear a primer. In fact, I have been using the Glossier Priming Moisturiser recently, and it's got some priming properties in it, but it isn't necessarily a primer on its own. And also, I never set my face with powder, literally just my under eye concealer. So this is exactly what I've done with this. I haven't set it, I haven't primed or anything, and I'm wearing it today. I just find that with the formula of this, it really drags on the skin. It's quite hard to apply. So for somebody with dry skin, it would be even harder because my skin's normal to like slightly oily. It doesn't have any slip to it, which is something you'd even get from a full coverage liquid foundation, so I find it quite difficult to blend out. I don't like using a damp sponge with this, and I actually use a damp sponge for every single foundation. I actually can't remember the last time I used a brush for my foundation, but with this one I just find that something like a flat top kabuki brush works really well. Here I'm using the Sigma F80 brush, and you don't have to use the same one, but something like this works a lot better to blend this foundation out. even once I've blended it out, I felt that I needed to go back in with a second coat because I'd blended it out really well, but it still hadn't covered my entire face. Maybe I hadn't used enough product, but I could still see patches. And because this foundation is quite orange toned, it's a lot more noticeable. The other thing that I don't like about this foundation is its wear time. So I would expect a foundation to last at least 8 hours. You want to kind of put something on your face, go out to work, go out for the day, and not have to worry about topping it up every few hours. And with this one, I just find that after about 4 or 5 hours, it completely disappears from my chin. That's not normal for me at all. No other foundation does that. It kind of disappears around my nose area as well. I get some natural oils peeking through my T-zone. That is normal for me. My skin is slightly oilier depending on the season, so I'm not too fussed about the T-zone, but I just don't like the way it sits on my skin. It really clings to my dry patches, it clings to my pores, it clings to like any breakouts, and it almost does the opposite of what a foundation is meant to do. So instead of enhancing your skin, this kind of helps point out any flaws in your skin, and I don't understand how, but I'm just not a fan of the formula. Maybe it's just my skin, I don't know, because I do remember seeing a couple of good reviews about this foundation. I don't remember what sort of skin type they had, but for me personally, it's a big thumbs down. I just really don't like the way my skin looks, but more importantly how my skin feels. I always prefer like quite a light to medium coverage base, and something that is quite buildable in case I want that extra coverage, but this I can really feel on my skin. It feels really cakey. It kind of feels like when you use a face wash or a cleanser that just strips your skin of its natural oils and you get that dry, tight feeling, and that's not my skin. My skin isn't dry on any level, and I'm just not a fan of the way it feels. So unfortunately, as much as I love Anastasia Beverly Hills as a brand, I just don't understand how they could have got this so wrong. Because obviously, as we know, the Modern Renaissance palette was like the benchmark for all eyeshadow palettes, and for me, I feel like that palette has ruined all other eyeshadows for me because nothing can really compare to that, and there's nothing new that's come out that's as good as that. So I don't know. I hope you found this review helpful. If you have tried this foundation and it does work for you, then please leave me a comment down below. Let me know what sort of skin type you have, and also let me know how you apply this, because I'd be really interested to know. I just think that for me and my skin type, this is a big no-no, so you will be seeing this on my Depop very soon. But I really hope you found this video helpful. If you did, then please give it a thumbs up and please hit that subscribe button. It would mean so much to me. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!